Really strong finish to TJ Parker's 2025 season. He had 3 sacks against South Carolina in the rivalry matchup. We're going to see what he did against the Gamecocks. And this is a guy that had 11 sacks as a sophomore. I think you look at the stats in 2025, they've kind of dipped down just a little bit. But watching the actual film, he's playing just as good as he did last year. And this is a guy that's trending into the first round if he decides to come out in 2026, I think. And you look at the other pass rushers in 2026, there's a lot of really good ones. A lot of those guys are more athletic freaks, guys that have a great first step, get around the corner really well. They're going to get drafted really early. I'm not sure any of them are as strong or as powerful or even as refined of a pass rusher as TJ Parker is. So we'll take a look what he did against South Carolina. In this first one, there was a couple where he got not credited with the sack where he forced the issue and forced Lenora Sellers really uncomfortable. This is the first one that we'll take a look at. One of the first plays of the game, if I remember right. Kind of gets away with the grounding on this one, but you know, it is what it is. But when you give TJ Parker this much room, these 3 yards here, that first step, it's not going to be with David Bailey. It's not going to be with Cassius Howell, the guys that are going to run, 4.4s, 4.5s. But when you give TJ Parker this much room to pick up some momentum, this is where I'm talking about him being such a powerful football player. And just watch number 72, the right tackle. He's probably 320 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark. Just watch where he is right now and then watch where he ends up. TJ Parker completely drives him to the other hash 5 yards. And that looks so easy. And that's what it is with TJ Parker. A lot of times we talk about that being a really good trait to have in the run defense. That strength that TJ Parker has. He's got really long arms as well. He does a good job using that as a run defender. We didn't really see that against South Carolina because of how much they passed the ball, but he just completely got after the quarterback. And one thing that I really am excited about TJ Parker is that hand use. That's what we're talking about when we say he's a refined pass rusher. A lot of the guys with those crazy first steps, they just kind of use that athleticism and use that bend to get those sacks. And that's great. Those guys get drafted early every year. But when you get to the next level, the offensive linemen are a lot more agile than they are in college. And they don't really have a pass rushing plan. TJ Parker, the hands just never stop moving, and that's where you really see him use that power. So he's got kind of 2 moves right now that he uses. The fastball is that bull rush right down the offensive tackle's face, and we'll see him get a sack in a little bit with that. But he also kind of has that changeup, where he's going to bull rush and then just kind of rip to the outside. And he does both so well, and they complement each other really well. And we kind of see him get held on this one. I did a Colin Simmons video, and all the Texas fans were complaining that I didn't include the holds all the times he got held against Texas A&M, so I'm going to include some of them for TJ Parker because he was held more than once in this game. But here's another one that could have been called, but he had 3 sacks. We'll focus on what did happen. And here's that power again, just that lower body drive, the leverage that he plays with. Just such a strong football player. And it's not just strength. It's not just weight room strength. I think on this clip, we kind of see the leverage, keeping that low pad level, and then that lower body drive takes over, and he just keeps driving that offensive tackle and, made Lenora Sellers uncomfortable the entire game. And this is when you are in high school, all these high school kids, they make their high school film, and they're supposed to put the best plays on first. If TJ Parker was a recruit, this is the first clip I want him to put on when NFL scouts are watching him because of how strong he is. And, this one just looks so easy. Before, it was impressive as well, but to me, this is the best clip the entire game, and he didn't even get a sack on that play specifically. But yeah, he had 1 sack the entire game until this last drive, and then he just went back to back with 2 sacks in a row. So this is the first one, and we talked before about that changeup that he had. He's got a nice move off of that bull rush, but sometimes you just got to throw 105 down the middle. Sometimes it just comes down to can you hit the fastball, and this left tackle in these 2 plays here just could not hit TJ Parker's fastball right there. You see how strong he is, and then same exact thing. This is literally the next play. Again, when you give TJ Parker, just watch, they chip him with this tight end here, and then you give TJ Parker 3 yards to pick up that speed. That turns into power in an instant, and then, you end up with 2 sacks just like that. So, great finish to TJ Parker's season. I said before, I'm not too worried about, I just know how these NFL fans are, these draft, guys that are supposed to be draft geniuses. Oh, the production fell off in 2025. He had 11 sacks as a sophomore. That means he's trending down. And I think you watch the film, there's no drop off at all. It's just one of those things. Sacks are one of those stats that doesn't mean that you didn't have a good season just because you weren't leading the entire country in stats. But that's what I think about TJ Parker. You guys let me know what you think about him. Please check out we-draft.com as a place to kind of store all your draft evaluations. We have other Clemson players up there as well, but you can take a look at what some people are talking about with TJ Parker. They got him in the middle first round right now, so going to be exciting if he decides to come out in 26, seeing where he ends up. Certainly an NFL football player at some point. There's no doubt about that. You guys let me know what you think about him. Thanks for watching.